overrated player in the FGC?
The most overrated player in the FGC. When I just think of somebody who's overrated, I would go. This is a hard one. LPN.
LPN?
Yes. Extremely overrated. I didn't know who he was until Mike Ross mentioned him. So I would say LPN is the most overrated person in the FGC right now as far as a U.S. player goes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like you've seen his birdie and stuff. What do you think? What is that based on? I'm just curious.
It's based off of me just not knowing who he was until Mike Ross brought him about.
Okay.
I never knew LPN was until about a year ago, but his birdie is solid. But Mike Ross, that's all I got to say about that. Yeah.
Just Mike Ross.
Yes.
Mike Ross.
Exactly. That's your Will Smith of the FGC. So if he mentions your name, you're skyrocketing.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday Night Fights, the pre-show. This is season 2. That was a little snippet of season 1, little interview that we had. Mike Ross, the Will Smith of the FGC.
Of the FGC, yeah.
You heard it here.
Smith, yep. You heard
From
it first.
LPN's mouth. All right, guys. So today we have a ton to talk about. So much happened this past weekend. We had DreamHack, Alex Myers got sponsored, High Roller Tournament, and Wizard World Gaming.
Big Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, many of you guys might not know about the High Rollers Tournament, so we'll be talking about that, giving you guys a little recap. Also, Tiger Uppercut.
Definitely.
Bud Light getting into eSports.
Huge deal.
Amazing deal.
Pretty big. And then we'll get into a Season 1 recap, talking about notable storylines, favorite matches that we had, and as well as our predictions on what is going to happen for the rest of the season. So that is what we're going to get into. So first off, DreamHack.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Let's talk about
that first.
DreamHack Austin. DreamHack Austin.
DreamHack Austin.
So everybody's talking about top 8. It was some surprises out there. Fubar Duck.
Yes.
Nobody talked about Fubar Duck.
Not often.
Not beforehand. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
it was a local Cyanide making a huge turn, bodying Ricky Ortiz in the top 8. But of course, the big game went to this is the back-to-back major for Justin Wong, proving that the Wong Dong is long and strong.
Yes,
he was.
Absolutely.
It was very
is a
convincing. Huge, very convincing wins from Justin Wong. There was very few times that he looked flustered.
I think the only person that really gave him like a run for his money was
F-Champ.
Filipino Champ.
Champ.
Right.
And these are two guys who have been playing with each other for years, and they're friends. They're NorCal. He is now NorCal, Justin Wong. So, you see the look of consternation and the sweat coming off of both these players' faces incredibly close. It was match point both of them, I believe.
Yeah, it was 2-2.
It was 2-2, and then
right down to the wire.
Yeah, right down to the wire. And it was always just very clutch. The thing that you can never take away from Justin Wong is his incredible. Everyone's always said it. We're just going to repeat it. His fundamentals.
Right.
He's not doing anything flashy. In fact, James Chen was like, he doesn't even optimize. He doesn't even do the most optimized thing. He just does what works. He knows what you're going to do. But you know what?
The right thing.
But he does the right thing. He knows when you're walking forward, and then he catches you with a crouch medium kick. But you know what? I don't want to talk about top 8s.
Not top 8.
I don't want to talk about top 8s.
Who do you want to talk about?
Everyone's been talking about the top 8s. You guys know what happened.
I want to talk about high-level stuff, but I want to talk about what happened prior to that in the top 64. Can we talk about these
Let's
things?
talk about those.
Please. I want to know.
Let's go.
You got me.
Oh, man. Have you heard of this overrated player, LPN?
That guy?
Did you say overrated?
That guy. I think he has a birdie or something.
He has quite the birdie, but you know what? He also has an Alex.
Quite the Alex.
He has quite the Alex. And in top 64, this is where he met Fubar Duck. I want to bring that up so we can watch a little bit of this, because this had, for me,
I know what you're talking about.
This was one of the most
all right, let's pull that up.
Hype matches of this thing. Now you can see, look at this Fubar Duck on the road, bring it in.
LPN up 1.
This incredible EX command grab, and then the double KO. You do not look at that. They didn't even know. They didn't even know. But let it keep rolling. Let it keep rolling, because it's right into it. He keeps that momentum going. You got to admit, when you're KO'd by the microphone, you have to be a little bit on tilt.
Oh, look at this guy right
Also knowing that you're so overrated.
by
Oh
LPN.
my god.
Yeah.
No, but he
Coming
didn't.
in, he didn't let it phase him.
He was sort of compensating. I mean, he was making it look. But now look at this. What this fight.
happens?
Now,
What
Fubar Duck. We're just gonna say made it to top 8, and it's going to be a play like this that illustrates why he behind Armika is one of the trickiest Armikas I've ever seen. The look to get out.
God.
The air command grab to get out. That is the escape.
Nasty.
With Nadeshiko tag team, now that is what we wanted to see. Now that was just that was a little bit. That was a 2 for 1. That was a 2 for 1. Just 2 hype moments back to back. And then this we don't have to keep going with these two, but it does end with a noodle finish.
It was a noodle finish?
It was a noodle finish.
gave
It was
him the
a
wet noodle, huh?
noodle finish. He went right into it.
I know that none of you were blocking that. Nobody was blocking that. Not LPN, not
No,
Justin Wong, not
Fubar
anybody
Duck,
on the planet.
but it was-
I wouldn't have
blocking
blocked that.
So-
You wouldn't
so-
have blocked that? I wouldn't have blocked
I
that.
would not have
I
blocked
would not
that.
have blocked
But I want to
anything.
say, so everybody was saying Fubar Duck in the top 8. You know what? That's amazing. But it was matches like that I think flew completely. That made him fly completely under the radar.
Right.
He got to top 8. With plays like that, incredible mind game mix-ups. So,
Absolutely.
but let's keep going. Let's just keep the ball rolling. Julio versus Will Tupac.
Will Tupac.
Julio
coming all the way from France.
from France.
Yep.
And I mean, facing
France.
1/3 of the Ken Trinity, the Trinity,
Right.
the Lupe Fiasco, who are there is training Lupe Fiasco, the Ken Trinity. So let's start that rolling. Julio, plays one of the most obviously one of the solid cats. He's 1/3 of this Trinity that we've said. He had already put Will Tupac,
Tupac.
on something of a grinder. I'm not even going to say blender, but look at this. It was that sort of like, it's the dash up lights. Dash up lights. Dash up, no, he's through you. It's the... Will Tupac is playing Lara in the way that I feel like this is why people are sitting on Lara. So that's that.
Like
I mean,
why they're sticking with her.
I feel it, but I think
as a character?
no, I think that's why people
Are sleeping on her.
I'm sorry. I meant sleeping on her. Is that she asks of the player playing her to be more calculating, and that's the thing that I'm seeing from Will Tupac is that sort of calculation, a very deliberateness that escapes other Lara players. That I feel right now, if you look at her on Event Hub,
It's almost like a geef, kind of stalking them.
He's kind of forcing you to make the wrong decision.
Right,
Exactly.
Especially
And
with
the
that kind of
fear of
pressure.
that blender,
Not only
yeah.
is it going to be a left and right mix-up game or a high-low, you have to throw in the command grab and the damage she can get off of her combos.
It feels like the way he's playing her, I feel, is exactly right. Is the way that people are not giving her credit. She's almost more. In the right hand, she's more of a 50-50. She could be like a 30. She could be a 30-30-30. It's not just one or the other. It's one or these
Rock, paper,
scissors, nuke.
Atom bomb.
You always play that scumbag on the school bus.
Sandpaper.
Hated that guy.
We hated him, and that's what Lara is. Lara is the one who pulls out
pulled
nuke.
out the atom bomb.
Atom bomb on rock, paper, scissors. So then up next, I want to bring up, we've mentioned him, F Champ versus Tampa Bison.
Ooh.
Now this was
I feel like I'm doing that on every single match that you bring up.
Because they're all good. It's such
and this
tremendous
wasn't
talent.
top 8.
No, this was not top
None of
8.
this is top 8.
Now F Champ would go on to win ultimately, but it was one of those smaller moments. When we pull that up, that the comeback from Tampa Bison was so extraordinary, and you can see here, playing very.
Yeah, and he's down one game. He's almost. I don't know if this was winners or losers.
This was winners. This
Okay.
was winners. Yeah, top 64. He had his slide
about
blown
to
up.
get bopped into losers right here.
Right, but then excellent. That's the thing, with excellent hit confirms, and then using the full potential of Bison's damage outputs and teleport mix-ups, and just that throw. That throw that Philip. Yeah, Philip. Even F Champ had to give him credit, but didn't want to. Didn't want to at all.
Yeah. That was pretty sick.
It was a very straightforward match, honestly. Overall, Bison and
I think it was
Dawson,
F Champ actually canceled into the V reversal a little
a little
late.
late. Yes, yeah,
pretty
I think
late.
that's how Tampa Bison was able to do it. But I mean, it was a very straightforward match. Other than that, but it was that one moment for that shining moment. You could see. I feel like Tampa Bison's full, almost training room potential. Like it had suddenly turned into a training exercise for him. Okay, so up next, we had.
But wait.
There's more. Because in the past NorCal Regionals, West Coast Warzone, Tatarian versus PR Rog has been
rivalry.
has been a thing that has happened. This is now the third major in a row where the two of them met head on, and I feel like this is something obviously Eduardo had been waiting for, had been preparing for, because Eduardo did not stick with Necalli as he had been.
I was just going to mention. He went Necalli and Ryu.
He switched from Necalli and Ryu. Well, we're going to see a little bit of it. Okay. We won't have the whole thing. So it always begs. So this begs for me begs the question to be asked: what is Ryu picking up? What does he want Ryu to pick up in this Ken matchup that Necalli was not providing him?
Right.
I'm not answering that question right now. It is something, but I would
something to ponder. A lot of Necallis, I would say, are having trouble with the Ken matchup, and it seems to be a matchup that, on paper, would be either even or even slightly in Necalli's favor as far as his damage output, Necalli's damage output. If he gets into V-trigger mode, he's just like this insanely Super Saiyan beast. But a lot of Necallis are struggling with the matchup. So
the problem is here, when I spoke to PR Rog and Chris Tatarian about the matchup, was that the change of pace that the Ken players would use, like Chris Tatarian and Julio, they would change it up from being in your face to more of the range game, playing the fireball. So I believe PR Rog chose the transition to Ryu because not only did he have the damage output, the invincible wake up without meter, but he also had a fireball, a full range poke, in order to contest.
And there's a good fireball. Let's get that clip rolling for PR Rog versus Chris T, because something I do want to highlight that. I think something that Necalli, one of Necalli's strengths is a lot of this counter hit pressure, really playing and
in your face kind of style,
in your face, converting off of counter hit, but he still has to be relatively close. Where yes, PR Rog is that kind of character. Look at his name.
This is the last round.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It is.
Winner's
so
top 32.
Top 32. Ooh. And he has the momentum. He has the momentum. But you can see, PR Rog is the kind of player, hence his name, Balrog, who plays characters that like to be in your face. He also likes charge characters, for that matter.
Well, I just want to point out that he confirmed off of EX.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like, especially in the Ken Necalli matchup, something that Ryu can offer, and that amazing comeback from Chris Tatarian. You can't take that away from him. Love him or hate him, whatever you want to think about him. Chris Tatarian has been tearing it up, and I feel like at this point, Eduardo has something to say. Tatarian it up.
Okay, then.
We're not that bad, are we? For sure. That I think that the way that Ryu can control the space and control the tempo and the pace of the match is something that he has more of a strength in than Necalli, and it's really the fireball. Right. The fireball,
such a huge
he wasn't playing a strictly zoning game. He really wasn't. Right. He wasn't trying to play the full screen, but that Ryu has the option. He can play mid screen, he can play up close, he can play full screen. He can just dictate that pace a little bit better than Necalli can, maybe in my opinion. Some Necalli mains might disagree, but it was an incredible turn to see him with the Ryu counter pick. I want to see what he can do more. I want to see what else is up Eduardo's sleeve.
That was the first of maybe different characters that we're going to see from.
I'm sure he's going to pick up Balrog. Later.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, later this year he's going to play Balrog.
He's going to have to change his name to PR.
He's going to have
PR
to.
Necalli.
That's what I loved about DreamHack.
Yeah,
I also
that pretty much.
That wraps it up. There was also, there's some moments I'm glad we finally got to see Guile, for a glimmer.
Oh, there was, from Knuckles.
Just a glimmer.
Just a taste of what's to come, but he kind of got.
That's what it was.
He kind of got bopped.
Yeah, he got
like a whisper.
It was. He was looking into Neverland, and he got it right in the second hole to the right and straight on until morning, all night.
All right, so that was DreamHack, or some of the stories that you guys might not have seen if you only got to witness top 8, or you only heard about top 8. From other people, your friends, family that are into Street Fighter V. Family, for sure.
Your mother?
For sure. Yeah, your mom.
Your mother's
she
day
caught
gift.
it for you. She recorded it while you were out.
Right on the DVR.
Right. So up next, we wanted to talk about a certain player that was sponsored recently, Alex Myers, our very own.
Myers. Local boy.
Myers.
So I caught up with him to do a short little interview, and I'll read some of the transcript that I got here. Let me pull that up real quick. So I asked him a little about what is Ronin and what they're about. He said they're a newer esports team and that their goal is to make it to the top echelons of esports. A natural,
Very
obvious
natural
goal.
response. Yeah, definitely.
But something he did say was that the owner was the founder of Team Conquest, which was a professional CSGO team that later got bought out by Optic Gaming.
So
So those are some pretty big names in the esports industry, which I thought that was pretty interesting. I asked him what kind of opportunities this partnership is going to make for him. Obviously, to travel much more. He's been wanting to do that for a very long time. It's the perfect time to do it. I put a smiley emoticon there that you guys aren't experiencing right now.
Okay.
I asked him if he'd be streaming. He said he's going to be doing that in the very near future. In the next couple of weeks, he's going to continue to start his stream up agagen, teaching people. He used to stream a lot with Street Fighter 4.
And it was very
he would teach
educational.
people.
Hook.
Yeah. It's very much akin to somebody like Juicebox, who gets on and kind of helps people. I asked him what his current top 5 is. Now you guys got to weigh in on this. What you think?
Interested.
Ryu, Chun, Karen, Nash, Ken. I'll say it again.
Ryu,
Chun, Karen, Nash, Ken. No Nakali up there in the top 5.
No Dawson either.
No Dawson. There's some interesting picks.
I need time to think about it. My gut reaction is that Ryu is not that high up there.
A lot of people. Ever since
he's
Daigo said he's the best character in the game.
I think Ryu is definitely top 5 material just because he has a free get-in card.
I think
get out of jail free card with a DP, and he gets in with jump short.
Yeah, I think here's the thing.
Best jumping normal in the game.
Ryu is the #1 pocket to have. I think
that makes sense.
And why is that?
That should make him a top 5 caliber.
Exactly. If that is the case, then he is should be a top contender.
If he's the perfect,
it's like having
character,
a Sagat pocket in vanilla.
Pocket Sagat,
right?
He's the best character. Clearly,
Makes sense.
Seth. We didn't know he was the best character.
No, Sagat was definitely the best character. With all those trades into Ultra, we don't want to talk about that because
there are no Ultras attached. There are no
It was a
Ultras
stand
in
light
Street
kick
Fighter
that was cancelable at the tip.
It was wow. What was that? Are you sure it wasn't?
The trade.
I'm just saying. No, I was just saying. Don't even talk about Ultras.
Ultra.
Oh my
Don't
God.
talk about. Don't talk about
supers.
Ultras.
No, it wasn't even that. It was the cancelable at the tip stand light kick. That was
ridiculous.
ridiculous. That was actually ridiculous. Okay. Anyways, last question, and by far my most favorite: boxers or briefs?
That's a tough one.
Micro bikini.
Wait,
Boxers
before
or briefs?
you go
Micro
into the
bikini.
answer,
I'm not even going to tell the answer. What do you think?
I just said micro bikini.
Micro bikini.
If you had to choose, man,
yeah, you can't make up
He's-
answers to the questions.
Boxers. He's boxers.
Boxers.
I'm gonna say he's a briefs guy. He likes to keep it, nice and tight.
With that
like his,
brief
like his
counter
combos.
pick?
I mean, his
All right.
combos are pretty nice and tight.
And you're not going to tell us?
No, I'm going to tell you. I'm
Okay.
gonna tell you. The man said briefs. The man said briefs.
I'm the best.
Okay.
I'm the best.
Surprised me. I thought he was going to say boxers too. But he also gave a follow-up as to why he said he needs the support.
Ah,
Yes.
Oh, because
No,
he's
he
very.
needs the support.
Oh,
gotcha.
clever.
Yes.
Clever.
It's more just
Because he's so
I
very.
think it's the
Because he's
balls.
tall. No, he's because he's so tall. He's
Yeah.
like 6'5".
like
Absolutely.
rhinos. Just all right.
got it. Duly
Okay,
noted.
moving
Thank you,
on.
Myers,
hung-
for the image.
Alex Myers hung like a Parisian chandelier.
I don't even know what that means. Okay.
It's
not
up
that-
there.
All right.
It's up there. That's what it is. It's up there.
It's not that weighty
So,
a joke.
moving on. We've got shout outs to Ronin Esports for investing in our
Yeah.
community. Thank you
Worth
very
noting,
much. Shout
first,
outs to Alex.
Myers is the first representative for Ronin in the fighting game community.
Yes.
That's it. They've always
Shout
been
outs to them.
shooters and MOBAs. I think MOBAs.
I hope nothing but the best for
Yeah,
Alex. He's a
yeah,
good friend of
good luck.
mine, and I hope nothing but the best for
Yeah,
Ronin.
yeah.
Good luck to
Good
the
luck.
company going forward. I just want to see them kind of branch out to more fighting game
They're
community.
young and they're
Absolutely.
small. I think it's only like 2 partners. I looked them up a little bit. So yeah, best to them. Just that.
So up next, we're going to talk a little bit about some tournaments that may have gone unnoticed for you guys because there was so much happening this weekend.
Absolutely.
One of these tournaments was so-called High Rollers tournament, which was basically a $20 buy-in, and I would say 95% top 8 contenders for Wednesday Night Fights.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So this,
there was about
yeah.
30 or 40 of those. I don't know if we have the challenge bracket up, but I can list off some names that were part of that.
Yep.
It was Martetti, Rathmatics, Valiant, Commander Jesse, Afro Cole,
Mike Elna.
Miller
Mike Elna,
Time,
okay.
Mike Elna, Dog Teeth, the boss, also known as KI Tim.
Yeah, or Tekken Tim.
Tekken Tim.
Filipino bus driver. All of his names.
Soulless.
Soulless.
Kombat
Tim.
Tim.
Redhead Tim.
All the Tims.
Timothy Tim.
And I can't quite rattle any more off the top of my head.
That was pretty much the majority of the list. I mean, Romance
I know that there was
on
more.
the list,
Romance is
but he
in
got
there?
dead last. I'm pretty sure he didn't make it, but he was on the list.
Oh, okay.
And
Romance was on there?
Well, the thing that I found most fascinating is this was a private tournament held on someone's their house, right?
It
Their
was held
home
in
arcade.
Northridge, California, in their built-in home arcade in their garage.
It was
it's
a very
so
rich,
sick.
very wealthy,
His name is,
off person.
His name is the Jackal. Is his nickname, and it was in the Jackal's Den, and it was so sick. He's actually an
The
alpha
Jackal's
player,
Den.
a CVS2 player, and it's in the Jackal's Den. It was pretty sick. It was a pretty sick turnout.
He sounds like an eccentric supervillain.
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit.
The Jackal will have you play in my arcade.
Enter the den.
All right, so a little bit about that tournament and where it was streamed. It was streamed on Jutsu eSports.
Jutsu eSports, correct.
Okay.
Twitch.tv/Jutsu eSports. So if you guys want to check out the VOD, that's where you can check that out. Commander Jesse, I heard, swept the tournament.
Yeah, he actually went through quite a plethora of top caliber players. He went through Valiant. He went through Mike El Na.
Yep.
He put him in. He put Mike. I think he put Mike into losers, and then met him
beat
back
him again.
in grand finals, which was
Oh, nice! Wow.
it was a really stressful time for Mike El Na. So, thank God though there was no sticks to be tossed. It was just a nice little high and buy. You know, thank you for that.
Not
But-
high enough of a buy-in for
Right, yeah. $20
For,
is still kind of hefty. That's like a major status, but, it was a private tournament, but it was definitely one to be watched. You can check it out again at twitch.tv/Jutsu eSports.
Jutsu
Oh, cool.
eSports. So shout outs to them. Also, Wizard World Gaming.
Oh, man.
Where was that? Cleveland? Or where was this?
Minneapolis.
This was an
Minneapolis. Minneapolis.
interesting tournament. Nasser took it, as many of you might have heard.
Right.
Won the $1,000, but they actually ran the tournament. What was the rules for the?
The format of the tournament was there were numerous pools, as you'd expect. It is like a con, like a Comic-Con or like an anime convention.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And the amount of entrants were pretty high. Pretty high for what it was, right? So what they did with the brackets was they made it single elimination in the pools. Now, if you play,
that's actually kind of deadly.
If you play like
That's
Nasser,
scary, dude.
there's no way you're gonna lose.
That-
Because
yeah,
if you're a
you would
nut,
never believe that he would
benefits you
play
in
like
2
that.
out of 3.
Wizard
2 out of
Wo-
3 is a scumbag.
Wizard World was
It's
doing it. Kid
Scumbag
Glove-
format,
It's a
dude.
Dude, that
scumbag
was-
format
that's
for
seriously-
Single
elim,
elim and
right?
a 2 out of
It
1
had to
match.
be 3 out of 5. But
That
no,
is-
one match?
they're
It
not
was
2 out
messing
of 3.
around. That's kid gloves are off at Wizard World.
Definitely, that was no
You would
whole
never
bar.
believe a dude would play this way.
Absolutely.
I-
So there weren't really too many notable names. There was oh my God, it's Andre, or OMG, it's Andre. It's
pretty good.
He was actually
He's up
a very
there
good
on the
player.
leaderboards.
Definitely. But other than him, there weren't too many highlights, except for one time where 2 players ended up picking up their phones, pretending they were getting coached, and then they
Oh, is
switched
that-
phones with each other.
Oh, they did
Oh
a little
my gosh.
sketch.
Yeah,
they did a little
sketch.
skit. Little
They
skit.
They both should have got DQ'd. But Nasser took it hands down. Check it on his Facebook page. You see him holding that $1,000 check, which is what they've been doing. So
Very nice.
with Wizard World Gaming, they are continuing the series. You should check them out on their Twitter at Wizard World. Yeah, Wizard World Gaming, and then they have pretty much all the details as to how their tour is going and where they're going to stop at next.
Sweet. So now that we got the little tournaments out of the way, let's talk about a really big one that happened in Asia.
Another one. Another one. Same.
Thailand.
In the Asian scene. Tiger uppercut.
Yes.
Sagat.
Tiger. So Eita took this one pretty handily. Well, actually not handily. In the top 8, he got knocked into losers by another Laura doing really well.
Laura Muir.
Sonic.
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 Not
S-A-U.
Sonic Fox. Not Sonic the
Right.
Hedgehog.
Sonic. So Eita took it pretty handily afterwards, getting put into losers by Sonic, but then later in grand finals he ended up beating him pretty bad. We're going to show a couple matches that you guys might not have seen. One of those is going to be Gamer B versus Haitani.
That was nuts.
If you haven't seen this top 8, please go watch it. I'm just going to show you something really quick that I thought was kind of ridiculous. Gamer B hitting Haitani with the laziest empty jump into low.
All right,
Let's
see it.
see
Let's
that
see it.
right now.
I want to see it.
Pulling that up. Okay, here we go. So Nikali Mir, Gamer B versus Haitani.
So Gamer B
Look
is
at that
yellow.
sponsor, though.
Gamer B is yellow dreads.
Got it. Super Saiyan already.
Yes.
Whoa! Counter hit.
Yeah, you
that
missed
was a
it.
low jab.
God.
You can barely see the low forward, but low forward is 8 frames startup.
On top of
On
a
top
slow jab.
of a pretty high arcing jump in, and that sealed the deal. That took the match right there.
That's rough, man.
When I saw that, I was like, no.
I clenched a little bit. I puckered up.
Yeah,
dude,
just,
that was
just
oh man.
if you zoomed in right here, that's what it looked like.
And then the next thing I wanted to show you guys, and this is something that happens a lot. We were talking about optimization earlier,
Yes.
and not optimizing your combos. Maybe Justin Wong could get away for it, but for how long? How long will he get away, with not optimizing?
Yeah.
How long will you get away with not optimizing your combo? And I want to show why you should optimize in every single situation so that heartbreakers like this don't happen to you. This is Gact versus Gamer B. Last match, last round, I believe. Maybe just the last match. But this is Gamer B versus Gact and them, duking it out. So let's pull that up.
I'm scared.
So this was a pretty back and forth match.
Yeah. Yeah,
As you can
Gamer
see,
B-
it's top 8.
Gamer B
2
on
and
match
2.
point. Wow, really good
Match
block.
exactly
It's
on match point.
Gamer B is.
Can't see the super bars there, but I think they're both fully stocked.
So close. Nice anti-air.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Having Nash just reset the situation is such a stressful ordeal.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Okay, so
Especially
Gact
as
might have
Macaulay,
super
like
now.
it's so hard to get in. Okay.
Oh my god.
He has full super meter and didn't confirm into the super.
Yeah, that's
And then this
a
happened.
shame. It's such a shame.
He was on match point. He was just nervous, I'm sure. Wanted to get the damage out, wanted to get as much in as he possibly could.
Bruce,
and
baby,
then
please.
ended up losing
Yeah.
that match, that set.
So
Off of that,
Gact
he
took
literally
it.
had it won. Gact took it.
That sucks.
Gact boys.
Who hasn't been there though?
Yep.
We've all been there. Just don't do it.
Optimize your
Just
combos,
don't do it.
guys. Optimize your combos.
Make good choices.
All the time. All the time.
100% of the time.
All right, so that was a little bit about Tiger Uppercut. If you guys want to check out more of what happened there, I recommend definitely checking out Sonic's matches. Some pretty hype stuff happening there. Watch the grand finals, Ada versus Sonic. That was a pretty good reset.
Love the way
And
you
then
say
he
it.
dominated him. He dominated him.
Yep.
Like Sonic put him into losers.
So he put him
and
into
then
losers
he ran on
3-1
him.
in winners finals.
Yeah,
Only
and
for-
3-1 in the reset. too.
Yeah. So what happened in winners finals was that Sonic put Eita into losers going 3-1. So when they met in grand finals, Eita brought it all the way back,
Yeah.
going 3-1.
Convincingly.
3-0. for the
3-0
reset,
and then 3-1 in the
that adaptation, that kind of skill to adapt in the grand finals
under that amount
so
of pressure.
convincingly. That's pretty much 6-1.
Yeah,
that's
ridiculous,
pretty ridiculous.
dude.
I'm just saying.
After getting beat.
Yeah, that's
So-
got to be demoralizing. You know
That's
what?
pretty sick.
Yeah.
Laura's very much like a scary player to play against, so scary character, I mean. But, shout outs to all the majors that went on this weekend.
Yeah. And all the Lauras.
Yeah.
Lauras. All the Lauras.
Definitely
Sonic.
a lot of the characters that we thought weren't that great. We'll
Yeah.
talk about, we'll get to that
Yeah,
a
and
little
we'll
bit
talk-
later.
Yeah, 'cause
Right now, I want to talk about something new that you guys might not have heard of or heard about, which is Bud Light eSports.
Ooh.
Getting into
Let's talk
Bud
about
Light
that.
getting into esports.
Yeah, Bud Light
Esports
Esports,
getting
Bud Light Esports
is Bud Light
is
Esports.
the name of their subsidiary company. Their esports league.
BLES. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So what I think is really interesting about this, well, first I'll tell you guys exactly what they're doing, and that is that they've selected, I think about 20 individuals
Correct.
who are renowned within their respective genre, from CS:GO, Hearthstone, Street Fighter V, Heroes of the Storm,
That's correct.
and
Did you say
League
League?
of Legends?
Yeah, League of Legends, I think.
I don't know if
you
League is
didn't
in
say
there.
it.
No,
I
because
don't
it's Heroes of the
I don't
Storm.
recall seeing League of Legends up there.
Oh,
I think
really?
it was
I can't imagine they wouldn't be,
Counter-Strike,
but interesting.
Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, and Street Fighter V.
Not Dota?
No, definitely not Dota.
Okay.
I promise not Dota. Or
No.
I don't see League in there either.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
that would be a team effort.
Right.
You can't have a single player.
But
for-
anyways, they're gonna
So
choose.
CSGO, but whatever.
They're gonna have voting until E3 on all of these players within the genre. They're gonna choose one from each game to be an official representative of Bud Light Esports.
Wow, very interesting.
That's pretty crazy that such a big sponsor is investing in our community.
So
And what do you
Who-
guys think that means?
Well, I want to ask first, who in the Street Fighter community are on the list?
Right,
Right.
so that's
Who are
Chris
they?
T, Christotarian,
Filipino champ, Jace the Ace,
and 801 Strider. 801 Strider.
Is 801 Strider not with?
They're with Winter Fox. But this is kind of like, I mean, when a lot of people they sign on for sponsorship is that I don't know what Sajam is doing here.
You don't know I'm a world warrior?
Doing the godlike.
He's interrupting the show. That's what he's doing.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm a world
Tasty and pasty, please. Pasty, please. So sponsor gets like a tattoo on the eyelid or something.
Gotcha,
you know, like,
gotcha.
Whatever it is.
I want B and L right here.
I got you.
Whatever it is that you want.
Tattooed right there.
You can have with enough money. You want somebody walking around with your logo tattooed on your eyelids? That's how it happens.
$500,000, I'll do it.
But what I thought was pretty interesting was that I don't know what Sajam is doing here.
You don't know I'm a world warrior?
Doing the godlike.
He's interrupting the show. That's what he's doing.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm a world warrior.
Tasty and pasty, please. Pasty, please. So what I thought was interesting was that Bud Light, you know, has got into this, and it's been mostly a warm reception. When we had something, you know, when they're selling alcohol.
Right.
Like, that's what they do.
Okay.
They're selling alcohol,
that's their
right?
product.
And, you know, they're sponsoring 21 and plus over individuals who are of legal age in the United States.
And we have one individual who's not that age, by the way.
In the running?
I believe it's Jace the Ace.
Jace the Ace.
Oh, he's just a boy.
Slight conflict there, but go on.
Yeah, good point.
Well, maybe he will be by the time
what I think
the
is
contract goes
interesting
through.
is that, you know,
I wonder if that's accused him from the running. But whatever, go on. Sorry.
This is when we just had quite a backlash with another certain sponsor that was advertising a service that, you know, that was trying to sponsor players that were of age to use their service.
18 and over.
Yeah, 18 and over. Even
age.
less than, you know, alcohol.
You're talking about Team YP, aren't you?
YouPorn. Team YouPorn.
Oh, is that the YP?
Yeah.
YouPorn.
And
what are they?
Like
what are they
fade
into?
away into the darkness.
And what's their product?
And let you guys kind of
I
talk
believe it
about
has
this.
something to do with
Is it
pornography.
Pornography.
Oh,
pornography.
That's what
right.
it was.
Pornography.
Unbelievable. I can't believe
pornography. That's
I can't believe we missed that. It's in their name.
So how do you guys feel about this? Let's start with Paul.
I think.
What do you think?
I think it's total. It's a non-issue to me. I mean,
Right.
the whole thing is. The thing is, if you actually, same with, despite what their parent companies are, respective parent companies are selling, this is not that. It's kind of like, you know, you remember.
But we can't ignore the influence. That
I understand, but you know, but here's the way I'm likening it. Do you remember, like, you know, movies like Clerks? Okay, think like Kevin Smith's Clerks.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. That was at the time when Miramax was owned by Disney. That was technically a movie that was owned and distributed by Disney under Disney money. So to me,
I'm sorry, all I can think is Jay and Silent Bob right now.
well, anyway, okay, so yeah, the earliest
making the movie.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Like back in those days, so the whole idea is, to me, the way I look at it is, so Bud Light wants to pay to send people 21 or not 21 to play video games. Well, that's not illegal, is it? That's not illegal. The only hang up that people have is really kind of their own. I mean, there's nothing illegal about it.
That was my argument as far as like YouPorn. There's nothing illegal.
It's not like anytime these people. It's not like every time Filipino man streams, he has to show two people banging behind him. You know, it's
and
not
they're
like,
both
you didn't read the
adult
contract.
services.
You don't know.
Right.
He does it because it's optional.
Well, the argument is that like we are catering to such a young audience that young people might see this and might be influenced by such a thing. But why is it okay to influence? If that's the argument that we're going with, why is it okay to influence them towards alcohol and not okay towards pornography?
Because it's America's #1 beer pong material.
But that's why I think that's my argument.
And YouPorn's America's #1 spank off material.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair. Number one.
Okay, all right.
Number one.
Okay, maybe not number one.
Okay, but not anymore.
The argument is
saying,
fair.
But my argument is there is no argument. Like the arguments being made against it are being fabricated. They're being made up.
I agree.
The whole idea that there is a morality to it is completely arbitrary. So the idea, you know, going.
I think that there should be some
sort of like conflict there.
In games that over-sexualize women, by the way. By the way. So
yeah,
okay, there's a lot we got to fix.
Yeah, as a community, as a whole,
we're not gonna
we
fix
need to come together.
Look,
Okay.
there are some people out there. Some people out there.
If you know what I mean.
Some people out there are playing Armika and Lara for the same reason that they would be looking at you porn anyway.
That's
so
fair.
They're
Armika, for
playing,
that matter.
I said Armika. They're playing those
At least
characters.
Laura or whatever.
I said Lara and Armika.
All of them. Both of them.
They're treating them like YP anyway. So what is
Yeah, they beat up women. In
They
this
do.
game.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Over-sexualize them
man.
and beat them. It's kind of
Well, not. I mean, over this weekend, Laura was doing the beatdowns.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Laura's doing all the-
reverse.
and that,
right,
yeah.
reverse
And
engineering,
Fumar
man.
does too.
that's a whole different market.
Fumar
You
does.
have to go to search different subjects for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Different hashtags for sure.
Well, far be it from us to have an answer. We just wanted to.
A dialogue.
Yeah, we wanted to start this conversation because honestly, I don't think it. I'm trying not to give my opinion, but I don't think it's fair that YouPorn is being so ostracized, but Bud Light and all these other alcohol sponsors
Yeah,
are
that
not.
makes sense.
And so, I think that it's something that it's not something I've seen discussed anywhere else. It's not something I see being brought up as to the hypocrisy of it all. And so, I really encourage you guys to talk about it amongst yourselves. Talk about it on Twitter. Talk about it with, friends, and just talk about it. Because that's the first step.
If I could have one more thought about it.
Yeah.
One more thought about it is it's very, and this is all interrelated. The idea of Team YP, selling pornography by day, sponsoring gamers by night. Bud Light doing the same thing, alcohol, right? Or vice versa. It's all interrelated with another interesting issue in the news, the esports world, which is Leffen, the Smash Brothers player from Switzerland, right, or Sweden?
Sweden.
Some type of
somewhere, Leffen, the European gamer, he was denied his visa for entry into America,
Right.
because the idea is that if he plays and he wins money, that would count as income, and you need a certain visa in order to do that. So he has but they were trying to get him on a special visa for international
a
athletes.
temporary visa.
Well, they got him with a temporary. They were trying to get him originally with one for international athletes. And they denied
the
it.
temporary one that he has to get qualified for now is like this 5-year one.
Oh, yeah,
And then
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like a shorter term, like temporary one where you could come in for like 6 months or something. And they denied that one because they didn't consider esports as like an official sporting event.
So that's what I'm getting at. The way this is related to the Bud Light and the Team YP and all that stuff is that we are still on the threshold of a brand new industry, that being esports. It's very young, and and the paradigm of it has not yet been defined. What is esports? Are esports sports? Is it athletics? It's competitive for sure, but is it athletics?
That's the thing. They also have these programs where they consider esports, an not extracurriculum, but an actual activity to study under in these universities overseas in Europe, Korea.
Right.
That's just to name a few. Europe, obviously, is kind of like a broad
Irvine
spectrum.
just jumped on board,
Irvine
too.
is on board
Yeah,
with
I
that
think,
as well. They are considering that as...
University of Arizona? I think?
The University of Arizona.
It was Arizona.
ASU. Because they got Heroes of the Dorm.
Exactly, they won.
They were the champions for the Heroes of the Dorm.
ASU, the
series.
president, actually in their statement letter, my brother sent this to me, because he's an alumni there. He's like, hey, check this out. I thought this was really cool. In the statement of their accomplishments for the year, he put champions of the dorm, esports, and he was like, dude, this is super sick. And it was up there with collegiate.
It was the third. It was the fourth bullet point out of 8.
Yeah, that's so
No, it
sick.
was, but also that was an ESPN event,
right?
And that was the
That's
thing.
What I'm saying,
So this is my bottom line for it. Right now, what all this has highlighted, the dialogue that this has highlighted, is that esports lives. It does not have a universal through line to it just yet. It exists in this weird limbo where, to some people, like the people doling out visas, it's not mature enough.
Right.
It's not a real thing.
It's not exactly
It's not a real thing.
We're in this teenager middle realm where we're treated like adults, but then
that's the thing.
And then we're treated like children at the same time.
But then to the opponents of Bud Light and Team YP, it's too young a thing.
Right.
And it's so, and then or and to some people it's it's too old a thing. It's not kids competing, it's actual adult athletes. So it's a strange middle ground that is undefined right now. And I'm sure within the next 5 years, we're going to see more.
It will.
More ESPN coverage.
We get to, you guys included, we get to define that
We're all
by
that.
talking
We get
about
to
it.
forge
Because
that.
if we don't talk about it, then it's going to be decided for us.
Correct.
By all these big companies that have existed for decades and decades and decades, have incredible power and influence.
Definitely.
You know, we've decided this so far on our own, and now we got to, I don't know, hold to what's. I was starting to go off on a weird tangent there.
Well, but I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm getting at.
We're
should
getting there
decide.
together.
We get to decide the fate of this all.
Yeah, together. We
To
have
some extent.
There's a curve. We're not ahead of the. I feel like parts of the curve have already been. We've already gone past some of the
bends,
curve. Yeah,
some of the
we've already gone past
trials
it, and then yet all the people
tribulations.
making the decisions, they're trailing behind.
Right.
You know,
that makes sense.
so that's really what it feels like. Once we all get on the same page, it will be a more definable thing, a more concrete thing. But right now, it's very ethereal.
Right.
Yeah, it's nebulous, cloudy.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed that little discussion.
Yeah.
Next,
You know
probably
what?
the most important thing to talk about tonight.
Mother's Day.
Yeah, let's talk about
What did you
mamas.
guys? What did you guys get your mothers? You better have gotten a card, at least something.
Type something good.
Come on. So, season one, the recap.
Definitely. Yeah, let's please get
What
into that.
happened? Okay, first I want to set the stage as to what was happening before we even had our first Wednesday Night Fights.
Okay.
Street Fighter V dropped 2 days before?
One
day
day.
before.
It was out for less than 24 hours when the
And
first
we had a
Wednesday
Wednesday Night
Night
Fights.
Now, for
happened.
those who had the cracked beta.
Which was
The
not.
what?
Which was not
cut
you.
the feed. Cut
That
the
was
feed.
not you.
Who was that?
There were people out there, not vicious.
I
So
know what you're talking about.
that's what it looked like. This game was totally fresh for a lot of people. And even those people that did get on the cracked beta, I mean, that's no secret now. It never really was. Even for those people, they really didn't get to test out a lot of their tech until that time came for Wednesday Night Fights. That was like the first tournament testing training bed ground. Was
Right.
at 1.1.
Makes sense.
And what happened?
We saw quite a few upsets, but it was actually it's pretty interesting. Majority of the first 3 events, I believe Snake Eyes
won.
Took.
single-handedly. So, are we gonna get into some of these highlights, or what did you want to?
Not just yet. We'll talk about Snake obviously dominating. One of the things that happened was that he double perfected Royal Flush.
Oh, that was
pretty
so
That was a
harsh.
big moment. That was
It was such.
that
a
was so
tough thing to
exciting.
watch,
That was
dude.
so exciting.
I feel bad for Royal Flush, but at the same time, thank you, dude, for that moment in history, because
And
that was like
for-
the most epic thing.
For being the guinea pig.
Yes.
The thing is about actually this game coming out also, it actually set the tone for who would be a top tier character, or who would be OP, who would people think would suck.
Initially.
Right,
and
that's
whatnot.
what I wanted to talk about. We thought
Yeah.
Geef was pretty freaking
Pretty
good.
strong, right?
Yeah, we thought Geef was like a really strong contender for the first. I mean, obviously because Snake was
First
bodying
couple weeks,
everybody.
yeah.
And
In
we
the right
had
hands, he would be amazing.
no
right?
idea how to deal with some of his mix-ups. Seemed like you could not get out of his Oki whatsoever, and he got such high reward off of it, which hasn't changed. It's still completely true. But what's happened since then? Why is? I mean, you're a Geef man. What has happened to that character?
Well,
And why is?
I
Yeah,
know-
talk about
Green
that.
hand. Let's talk about that.
It's fine.
Wait.
You want all this?
No, you got to talk
You
about
mixed
it.
it.
So-
Honestly,
Yeah, okay.
so
Talk about what happened to Geef.
well, nothing happened to Geef in the last couple weeks. It's just that everybody kind of figured him out. It was no secret, I think, even from the very beginning of Street Fighter V, that he just has incredibly bad matchups. He has some of the largest matchup gaps in this game. I don't think anybody has a larger gap than Geef versus Dalsim. And that was pretty apparent even in the last beta. But something Snake Eyes said just this past weekend, one of the most identifiable character and player marriages, Snake Eyes Geef, is ending in divorce. He has really all but said he's giving him up.
Oh my God!
Perfect.
Sorry.
Double perfect.
That
Now
recap
that
was
was
nuts.
that was an incredibly hype thing. And but Snake Eyes said to the Daily Dot this past weekend that he's pretty much Geef is dead. I'm paraphrasing, but he did use the words dead.
And you said they're divorcing.
And I feel like
And
they're
it's
having
ugly.
a divorce. Yeah. I mean, maybe he'll stay on as a side chick,
Yeah.
to Snake
But
Eyes.
Snake has visitation rights.
But
Yeah.
he's Yeah,
like, he definitely got this.
He got definitely some type of restraining order. There's definitely a restraining order here.
He got a good lawyer. He's got visitation rights.
I'm sure every now and then, in tournament, we'll have a Geef conjugal visit. But
possibly.
But he is moving on to Alex and Ryu, and he illustrated it. He said it perfectly that some of those matches, especially at high level, when you're playing someone of even tier, Geef just has some unwinnable matches. At certain levels of gameplay.
Right. Especially when you only have possibly at best case scenario 3 matches to figure out the person.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, take for example at NorCal Regionals. I'm just going to say player to player, Xian, the former Gen player, now currently Fong player. Fong,
is he sticking with Fong?
He is. He said it was his main. Fong, not by a wide margin, but Fong beats Geef. Fong absolutely beats Geef. Now Xian, notably, has kind of said, Snake Eyes is his demon. That had always been the case. Like, there's some very notable matches where Snake Eyes just bodied Xian, and it was more of a mental game. And when it came down to it, though, he finally beat Geef. Now I feel that should have been a bigger moment than what was meant, than what it was made out to be.
Right.
In the last
I didn't even think about that.
last 3-4 majors, Snake Eyes hasn't even made top 8 with Zangief.
Zangief hasn't made any appearances in top 8 as of late. Like for the past couple majors.
In fact, DreamHack Austin, I looked top 64, not a single Geef. One Fong, not a single Geef.
One Fong.
I don't think there was one in Northwest Majors as well.
I didn't check Tiger Uppercut either.
No, like at least top 16 had zeros and Geefs.
Top 16, yeah. So, but top 64 at DreamHack Austin first.
Which is really interesting. Sorry, because there's a really good spread of characters for those top 16s.
Right.
You know what I mean? Such a wide representation, and Geef is just not.
There was even Fong players there.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Even so I feel it's the problem with it is he has this. They turned him into a moving wall. They wanted him to be an immovable object, whereas before he was an unstoppable force. Before, but now he's an immovable wall. The problem with that, I feel, is that they severely castrated his mobility.
I totally agree.
In the high-low game, if you just hit him low, it's really not an issue. And the fact that that as a grappler, and I'm going to say as the only true grappler, and I stand by that because I feel like the other grapplers are really brawlers. It's more like rush you down, but they don't make you fear their command grabs. Geef's whole game is make them forget about the command grab, then make them fear it. It all comes down to it. But the fact that the command grab is really just as good or bad as any other regular throw in the game, it doesn't really, and it's also slower than everybody's jab.
Yeah.
Everybody's jab is either 3 frames or 4 frames, and it's 5 frames. It's not scary.
Actually, Birdie's is 5 frames as well. His jab is 5 frames.
Oh, it's 5 frames. Okay.
It's only scary at a certain point, and this is the thing. Also, it's kind of the thing with actually a lot of the command grabs in the game. It's also a thing with Necalli and Nika. It's the fear of it is you're losing more to the fear of it than the actual thing of it, because Necalli doesn't set you up for mix-ups at all unless it's in the corner. Mm-hmm. It's 8 frames. It's pretty slow. Mika's the same thing. Can easily be jumped. If you just went for a throw, she can react to a neutral jump and stuff like that. Exactly.
Or forward fierce, yuck.
Yeah. But Geef suffers even more because it's so hard for him to get in. It's very easy for Mika to get in. It's very easy for Necalli to get in.
And also,
Geef
the way
work.
White Life builds and stacks in this game, it just becomes dangerous for him. So they've designed him to be a character to block with his face. That's his thing. He blocks with his face, and so whatever.
Really
there, right there.
Right
so
there.
That's
right there.
So that's
2 minutes.
That being 2 minutes.
Right there.
You're already joking. But the way that White Life stacks up, and then some characters like Rashid or Chun, Iron Body it's just not viable. It's
very good against Necalli.
It's very good against Necalli. It's also very good against
Ken, the standing Renhouse.
Against Vegas, but Bison even, but against certain characters, against Vegas, but Bison even, but against certain characters, like the one thing that they made him into doesn't work.
Right.
And I feel like when it's just, those matches aren't unwinnable, any of the ones I mentioned, but when the thing you've become doesn't even work, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a problem.
So what other characters did we see that, or did we feel were really strong at first that have kind of like fallen off the wayside? Is Geef the only one?
Geef was definitely the major
He's the big
here,
one. He's
yeah.
the easy one. The easy.
Yeah,
target.
yeah. He's got a target on his back.
Were there any other characters that we thought were really good that have kind of like fallen off on the wayside? Mostly?
I would say on Vice, like the other end of the spectrum, where we thought characters were kind of average but ended up
Or
being
like
really
pretty
good,
bad. Yeah.
is Ken.
Ken's up there.
When
Ken
the game started,
and Nikali.
when the game started, everyone was saying, "Oh, everyone's viable." Oh, but Ken, man, he's garbage.
Yo,
So
they nerfed
stubby.
him so hard by the
Right,
time
right.
the game came out, and the next thing you know,
What?
the Trinity happened.
Yo, I think the Trinity was just saying that the whole time so that nobody picked up this character.
Yeah, the
'Cause
damage
they
output
knew.
on that character is nuts.
Because they knew.
Of course, his normal
Yeah, they were
cancel
like-
to
they just
V
looked at
skill
the
was
frame
not
data.
real. It's not real
Exactly.
pressure. But then again, it's kind of hard to react to.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
More-
hard to
more or
react
less.
to. If you're trying to guess, you're going to get blown up by frame traps. If you're trying to react,
Right.
then you're going to get opened up from other things. That character's so good. That character's
Yeah,
so
he's
good.
really
People
good.
were saying Nikali was booty,
Was butt.
was butt.
I don't know.
Butt cheeks?
Actually, I heard the opposite. I was hearing Nikali was actually really, really strong.
Okay.
But that was my end of town.
At the outset. That's what I was hearing
My
too.
end of town. Wait, you were hearing?
That the Nikali was very
Okay.
good at the outset.
I was told over and over again how bad Nikali was going to be, and I was like, nah, dude.
I think-
this character has an option, every single option.
Right.
3-frame jab,
I think so.
command grab,
DP.
DP,
High damage.
high damage, frame traps. Did I say command grab?
And you know what characters that I think
Super Saiyan mode.
I think characters that I think even at the beginning, Mika was not treated with respect
At all.
at first. It didn't take long. It only
Yeah.
took about a week, but I feel once we got over that, Mika kind of blew up into being like I still don't think she's seen as high tier, and I certainly don't see her as high tier, but she has tools to deal with everybody on the roster.
Makes sense.
All right, so we're running a little long here, so I want to get into some matches that we thought
sure.
were pretty hyped from last season. Obviously taking the whole season was Chris T. Futile did very well. Commander Jesse also showed up and
Absolutely.
did very well. Afro Cole, I feel like we expected more from him, but he's also been learning and doing
Top
well
8 material,
recently.
definitely, yeah.
Definitely top 8 material.
Yeah.
There's a
He's
lot of
making
dudes
awesome
under the
stuff.
cover that have grown, since
Thanks, man.
Vicious, you've been doing
Vicious.
really well.
Vicious. we
I
haven't
finally
talked
got
about
a top
him.
16
Oh, hell yeah.
placing like one time. That was
Great,
sick.
all right.
I was hype about that. Pillow of Win took
Pillow
an
of Win
off-season
took a-
match.
He
that
took the
wasn't
Wednesday Night
season
Fights.
win, but he took the Wednesday Night
Gamer
Fights.
Harry.
Gamer Harry
What?
showed up and like got top 8 his first tournament ever. That was
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
So a lot of like little things, these little storylines that happened that were really, really interesting. But right now we're going to talk about a certain match that we thought was really, really hype. This was on Stupendous's birthday.
Yes, it
No
was.
less, and this is
Yep.
Stupendous's match
Season
against
1.6.
Chris T.
Tatarian.
Season,
So,
yes.
going into this segment, we're pretty much going into Season 2. We're trying to see who would be the next reigning champ. And so with this video clip we're about to show you, it's Chris T versus Stupendous. Now, Stupendous actually reset the bracket coming from loser's bracket, right?
Yeah.
In grand finals, he actually went 2-0 against Chris Tatarian, instilling the fear of Zangief. Now, we were
Yeah.
just talking about how Snake Eyes had just had
This was
a
after
recent
the
divorce.
reset, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's they're both losers.
They're
right now.
both in loser's bracket now.
Stupendous came from losers.
Yeah, Stupendous was doing one hell of a job. Now we're talking about Zangief being pretty broken or pretty high up there in the beginning, and Stupendous was definitely showing it. Now Stupendous is still the Zangief loyalist, and look at him go. He's just thrashing Chris
Ooh.
Tatarian, who was the champion of Season
Right.
1.
And he had gotten him to, gotten him to switch to like
Yeah.
how many different
Ooh,
characters?
here we go. So look at that. Look at the comeback right here. Look, Stupendous, he doesn't care.
No,
He
he's
doesn't care.
like,
Look at this. Ooh, the
I mean,
walk
dude, you have
to
to
the
do-
super.
Yeah, using the block stun to buffer like that.
That
so,
was sick.
So good.
Shimmy me.
And
Good
to
stuff.
recognize it, yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
he made Chris T switch to Vega. Switch
And
to
Ryu,
Ryu.
yeah.
Ryu.
I mean, he made him sweat
He lost
so
those
hard.
first 2
And
rounds. Those
mind
were-
you, this is why the rule, the coaching rule was invented, because at the time, Chris Tatarian had at least 4 coaches beside him, and nobody was coaching Stupendous on his birthday.
On his
by the
birthday,
way, it's totally unfair.
let them-
But not going to ruin it here.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, actually, Christitarian does end up taking it here. That's pretty much how the game
This
goes
was
with Ken versus
probably
Zangief.
one of the, I think this was my favorite grand finals.
It was absolutely my favorite too.
Yeah.
So that was just one of the video clips we wanted to show you, kind of recapping on what was going on season 1.
So who do you guys think is going to be, a good contender to maybe take some more WNFs? Obviously, Snake Eyes, if he shows up.
Right.
He's
here today.
He's
he is here
Okay,
tonight.
sick.
Okay.
So we're going to see some of that, Alex. So I'd say Snake Eyes, Chris T, obviously the highest contenders up there. But who are the undercover dudes that have been leveling up, that have the chance to take it? I would say Mr. Valiant.
I totally agree with his Bison. Is
Mr. Valiant, I love Commander Jesse. I think he might be one of my favorite players. But I think just the way I know that Mark's mind works, he's been doing so well, and there's just like this little wall in his mind that he just needs to bust through, and he's just gonna just bust right through.
I like it.
Right through.
I feel we've mentioned him. There's a lot of respect and love to this kid, but I feel like not a lot of recognition. Prodigy. I think
the
Prodigy.
Laura player.
I feel Prodigy is going to blossom.
Off the recent hype of the Laura.
I do.
Coming in here feeling
I
himself.
feel like a lot of Laura data is still being mined. It just hasn't been as mined as fast as Ken and Zangief, both high and low. I mean, that's two characters going in opposite directions.
Absolutely.
But I feel like Prodigy is the kind of Laura player who will blossom with her. And I'm very excited to see what he does with her,
totally agree.
especially at Wednesday Night Fights.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so-
my pick would definitely have to go with Stupendous. I mean, he's been showing up every week,
The
putting in
man's
work.
reads, dude.
Yeah, he has the reads for days, and he's super disciplined when it comes to his approach and his gameplay. He does not change for anybody.
No.
He will headbutt everything.
Yeah, no, he will. He will. He'll also do that.
He plays the
Fierce.
immovable object.
He plays
Do
the role
very
well.
well.
But also, let's complete and total honorable mentions and love to. They're not out. I feel that Michael Na is going to. I feel
He's a
like
very
he's
good
going to
player.
take. He's going to stay in top 8
If he
consistently
could-
for sure.
Wusa. That is his wall. Mark has a different kind of wall. Mike El Na's wall, the anger.
Is Michael Na?
Yeah.
Is
And,
Mike
and you
Na.
know what? That is something that we all suffer from. It's something
totally
that you
me.
have to get through.
That's absolutely my case.
Speaking of that, the last video clip and my favorite moment of the season, we're going to have that up for you right now.
This
This is a match
the best part of season
between
1 right here.
Mike El Na and Ian Sanity.
Here we
Shout
go.
out to both of them. Ian Sanity, also a notable mention.
Yeah.
Now, Mike El Na actually
and
looking
also-
towards getting this match
Pretty good.
Also,
Looking pretty
commentating this match with me was Arliath Trillari. So
Punishes the sweep.
Oh, here we go. Here it comes, boys and
this
girls.
is the thing. This is where you just didn't know.
He didn't see it in time. He opted to use
Oh, God, here it comes on.
So close.
Could have supered.
Oh, the damage!
But look
Oh,
at
this is
my favorite
so-
part. Look at Ian's Sanity.
I know they both were like, oh,
Here we go, here we go, here we
That's
go, here we go.
my- that's-
Boom! There he goes, dropping the
No,
bomb.
listen. My favorite part of that is Ian Sanity apologizing for winning. Like, I didn't know that was
Honestly,
going to
dude,
happen.
Look at the camera work from Nick Tenella.
Honestly, dude,
the camera
after
work.
watching it so many times, I really feel like he meant to put it on the table.
Hell no, he
Like,
dropped.
just-
He flung that thing on purpose, for sure.
I guess. I don't know.
Pog
man.
chapped all over that.
The table's right there, dude. I think he's just like, and then it just missed, and
then
it just
just didn't
toppled
care.
over. But
But seriously,
Anyways, that
Ian
was my
Sanity being
favorite
like this,
part
and then
from
just
the-
like,
from the
I am so
yeah,
sorry.
and then he was like scared for it. He was like, oh shit,
Yeah, and
dude.
he's like-
It's like, bro, I'm so sorry.
It's rough, man.
Yeah, it's another one of these like, ugh.
But that's what happens. That's what happens at Wednesday Night Fights. The love, the salt. We got it all here, man.
It's all part of the game, baby.
I'm looking so forward to tonight and the rest of the season. I hope you guys are too. I hope you've enjoyed the pregame show. Thank you for watching. With me today has been Vicious and Paul, Dr.
Stance, you forgot my
Dr.
name.
Stance.
Whoa.
I don't even know this dude's first name.
Me neither.
But anyways, thanks guys for watching. Make sure to follow. Make sure to keep watching. Tune in. Pull up both streams, twitch.tv/leveluplive and twitch.tv/Nick Tenella. We're going to be streaming the whole tournament up to losers finals. So that is what's going on. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.